Welcome everyone to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. And tonight we're going to talk to you about how to kill a game studio. Let me whip this article out here. PlayStation shuts down Demon Souls Shadow of the Colossus remake studio, Bluepoint Games. Its live service God of War title was canceled in January of last year. Live service stuff. Live service killing studios, right? PlayStation is trying to shove so much business into their live service models that they're just killing off studios that make anything worth the damn, or any studio. So, article goes on. PlayStation has shut down Bluepoint Games, the studio behind remakes of both Shadow of the Colossus and Demon Souls. This comes from Bloomberg, which confirmed the news with PlayStation. It affects roughly 70 employees with the closure when it officially occurs next month. Bluepoint Games is an incredibly talented team, and their technical expertise has delivered exceptional experience for the PlayStation community, but not enough to keep them alive. A PlayStation spokesperson told Bloomberg, "We thank them for their passion, creativity, and craftsmanship." Now get the hell out. That's what they said. According to previous reports by Bloomberg, Bluepoint was working on a live service God of War game up until January of 2025, when the project was canceled. The studio then spent the last year pitching new projects, but ultimately was shuttered before it could get one moving. I wonder how many they pitched before, and how many Sony just said nope before they finally let them just close the whole studio. I wonder what that was. Wonder what good games they pitched. Bluepoint was founded in 2006 by former Retro Studios employees and proceeded to work on a number of PlayStation games, including several collections of existing games such as God of War, Metal Gear Solid HD, and the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection. It also served as a support studio on ports of games like PlayStation All-Stars, Flower, and Titanfall. But it says here, Bluepoint's claim to fame was its 2018 remake of Shadow of the Colossus, followed by its remake of Demon Souls, both which were highly praised by critics and fans. I thought they both looked great, played pretty good. So, but under Sony's management, Bluepoint did some co-development work on God of War Ragnarok, but otherwise did not release or announce any new games. So, let me put this article away here because we don't need it anymore. And we'll just talk about what we want to talk about now. So, another studio getting shut down. Who knows if this one, and his 70 employees are affected. So I wonder how, hopefully they're going to give those employees some severance, hopefully Sony takes care of them, because obviously they couldn't find work for them somehow to develop something. So I don't know what those guys were doing. But I can't believe that they would take a studio that made games like that. And maybe I can't say that I can't believe it anymore because it keeps happening. But a game studio that does not make multiplayer games or work on things like that and say, how about you make a live service game? That works out so well. Every single player game that turned into a live service game just works out so well for everybody, right? I mean, look at the shit show Gorilla's going to come out with. That's the freaking Horizon one, live service game. I'm so sick and tired of hearing live service. I just wish it would hurry up and die. Live service just needs to die. The problem is that people see things like Fortnite, the Marvel games, all of that stuff, and they see that, Overwatch and all this stuff, and they see these games make money, and they don't really have to do a whole lot. They make some new skins, they throw out some events, they get some cameos, they do things like that, and they just make money hand over fist with a very tiny, tight studio. And they just all chase that dream. And damn be to the gamers when these companies think that they can make something that can take over one of the top 10 spots. Because I think, in my opinion, and you guys may have different ones, we'll go through, I think you have to be in the top 10 to be making any money, right? In the top 10 of these type of games. Probably to really make bank, you need to be in the top 5. But I think you can survive being in the top 10. But we see time and time again a live service that just pumps out and dies within a year of it. And it's technically dead. It's dead after a month, or if it's not dead on arrival, they just string it along. Hopefully they can get player interest, or you just pull the old Concord stunt and shut it down right away because it didn't do anything, right? You charge for a game that should have been free to play, and then when it doesn't sell, you just shut it all down instead of pumping it out free to play and live off your monetization. Because companies now, instead of trying to find a single revenue stream in a game. They're trying to find every revenue stream they can. We're going to sell you the game. Then we're going to sell you the skins. And we're going to sell you the premium currency to buy the extra stuff and all the unlocks and all this. And, before long, you're not even able to level up in a game without buying some microtransaction. You need the orb of power to go from level 1 to 2, or we'll let you level from 1 to 10. But to go past level 10, you need an orb of power. And then, once you get to 20, you need 10 orbs of power, just something stupid. These game developers, man, are just, they're way too money hungry. And, they've killed off all these indie or smaller studios that were making games out of pure enjoyment or love for the game anymore. And if you can't tell, I'm a little bitter about it because I'm tired of losing studios that make great games because they're forced to do some stupid monetization scheme or some live service crap or make something multiplayer that has historically not been multiplayer. I like my fair share of multiplayer games, and I will play multiplayer games that I don't necessarily care for with these guys. Like, I'm not the biggest Battlefield or Call of Duty fan, but when these guys play, I'll play with them because I want to hang out with my friends and play, and we can have a good time, even if I die a lot, because I'm not very good at those kind of games, but I still enjoy them with these guys. But I want my single player games just as much as I want to hang out with these guys and play co-op games. I want my Horizon single player story driven game as much as I want to play like Split Fiction with these guys or Battlefield or something. I want something that I can play when they're not available, when they're busy, because we are all at the age now where our kids are in high school and starting to take on, activities. And so sometimes we all can't be on at the same time. Right. So, and that happens. And then when we all can be, we like to have something to play, but these studios are just chasing that almighty multiplayer buck, and their piece of the pie is only so big. And if you can't get into 10 pieces of pie, one of those 10 pieces, then the studio is going to get shut down because the studio did not perform the way you wanted to. So all we end up doing is losing great studios because of this. History will look back at this as the great Fortnite era where everybody wanted to be Fortnite. Right. So, Nick, what do you think, man? What do you think about another studio being closed?
Well, it doesn't surprise me, but at the same time, and at least for Sony, but and in the way that the games industry has been going, but Sony's dumb. Sony's especially dumb when it comes to trying to do live service. They have been so we thought Ubisoft was unsuccessful with that shit. No. Sony said, hold my beer with that, because they have been, at least Ubisoft has been successful with some. Sony has not been successful at all with their live service stuff at all. And they keep chasing it and they're still unsuccessful. The Horizon one's probably going to crash and burn. The God of War one probably would have as well. And you take a game, and you're exactly right, Pat. You take a company like Bluepoint, who has already established that they can develop something, right? Or in this case, they did a lot of remakes of stuff, but you can tell in the remakes that this team is talented, right? Because they didn't just take something and just like polish the turd. Like, they really put a lot of effort and love and craft into redoing these games. So you can really tell, like, okay, this team knows what the hell they're doing, especially former retro employees, right? And so you take them and you're like, okay, what do you want us to make next? And you have them make a live service game. It's like, no, you have them continue to make, they don't have to make remakes, but you have them pitch a new idea, because people are already like, even with the Demon's Souls thing, right? When Demon's Souls came out on PS5, like, that was super highly regarded by gamers. And that really put Bluepoint, I think, but even without the Shadow of the Colossus, but that one in particular really put Bluepoint in gamers' minds as like, oh, I can't wait to see what the hell these guys do next. Like, what are they going to remake next? Or are they going to make their own game next? Like, I'm really excited to see, and they help out with a few projects here and there, but they don't really make anything, because you're exactly right. Like, everything they try to pitch, Sony's like, that's not going to make enough money. That's not going to make, it's like, no, just you can have your studios that make your free to play fucking live service games if you want, and then shut them down right after. But like, don't take an already established or a newly established but already proven with a great track record so far of proving that they can make games, like they can take games that are old and rebuild them brand new. So they got the pedigree, right? Let them like cook, let them make something of their own fruition, like something they want to make themselves. And just let them do their thing. You know, we talked about earlier when you weren't here, we talked about High Guard, especially when it comes to those free to play or, you know, hero shooters or whatever. And you're exactly right. I think we brought it up during the High Guard discussion, was that piece of pie, that percentage, you know, is very small. We get a new hero shooter like every Tuesday, like one comes out all the time. Like I was telling Shane, we were just talking about High Guard and how High Guard may be out the door, right? It's still available to play now, but it's not looking great. And I already saw today a trailer for another hero shooter coming out. They had a trailer for it, and it was coming up with a beta test or something like that next week or in a couple of days or something like that. And I'm like, you know, I went to the comments of it, and people are like, "Another one? Seriously?" Like, and that's just the people, you know, that's just what people have in their minds. So they don't want another hero shooter or taking something like that. So like, I don't know what Sony's thought process is. Like, it's dumb is what it is.
We know what their thought process is. How do I get me some of that Fortnite money, yo?
Well, they suck at it. So they should probably stop while they're where they're at.
They should just buy Fortnite then if they're going to.
Yeah, buy already. I mean, they tried that with Concord, right? Because Concord.
But that wasn't an established game, though. They thought that Concord was going to be something huge when it came out.
Right. And that studio wasn't owned by.
Huge turd.
And that studio wasn't owned by Sony. Sony bought the studio because they were making that game, Concord, because they tried to do the old buy one, but that didn't work out either.
Yeah,
but yeah, they didn't buy one that's already established. And yeah. But I mean, like, it's Bluepoint was definitely not in my bingo card as far as Sony would shut down. Because I thought Bluepoint was like, you know, Sony's kind of like,
that was their remaster remake studio.
Yeah, like they like, okay, cool. These guys have good pedigree. Like we can like bring back a lot of classics and have these guys do it, and like it'll be awesome. But no, they just shat all over that one. So I don't know. What do you think, Shane?
Yeah, I couldn't agree anymore. I mean, they had so many options for that group and they chose the stupidest one. I mean, like you said, they built up a reputation. They were known for quality. I mean, you know, even if it was just remakes that really put them in the gamer's mind, they were great remakes. I mean, they took Shadow of the Colossus was just gorgeous. Dark Souls, obviously, but they could, if they could take those and bring them to the new millennia, to the new gamers, to the, you know, and make them popular, they should have just kept with that. You know, if they were going to hold them back by doing anything, they should have held them back by doing things they were at least good with, that they knew they could do. You know, and look at Sony's bread and butter since they launched the PlayStation 1, of all the things that they could have said, all right, Bluepoint, we want you to remake this next. We want you to do this next. Or hell, 80% of your budget, I want you to remake this game here. And then I want to give you the 20%, and I want you to do something new and exciting. But no, they were like, we want money. We don't want to do much. And we want you to take something that nobody would ever want in the first place, God of War live service game. And yeah, there you go. Do it. Oh, never mind. Just, you're fired. That's it. I mean, that's their thought process at Sony. But like you said, though, they're not as bad as, you know, Ubisoft.
I don't know. I mean,
maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, they're worse than Ubisoft when it comes to that, because Ubisoft at least has some successful free-to-plays under their belt, or Sony has not gotten one off the ground at all.
What does Ubisoft had that was good, that was free-to-play?
I mean, Siege, right?
Yep.
Siege is free to play.
Siege's not free to play though, was it?
But it is a live
It is
service
now.
game.
It is now,
considered
okay.
a live
Yeah.
service game, though.
I'm pretty
too.
sure it's not. It doesn't cost money anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean-
okay, so I'll give
I
you
don't know,
that.
let me look.
they had one. Sony's batting a donut hole.
Yeah, I mean, well, when you think about it, if you want to talk live service games, they've had not free live service games because not all live service games are free. Like they've
That's
had the
true.
Division. They made the second Division. They're about to make a third Division. You know.
Well, see, the division first one, I consider more of a game, regular
Yeah.
game.
So Rainbow
With
Six
some
Siege
elements
X
to
is
it.
free or has a free version that you can play.
Yeah. But I think the Division 2 and most definitely 3 are just 2 is definitely a live service game. I mean, there was no qualms about that. You know, they took
And For
one, which
Honor
was a
is
good
still
game.
going for them.
yeah,
And
For
that's
Honor. That was a live
Holy
service.
crap,
one,
I
but that one
forgot
was
about
paid.
that game.
That was a
I
paid
think that
one.
one was paid. I
Yeah.
think it's free to play now, though. I think you can.
I think that was one of the first
I don't-
games that we all
No.
played together.
For
Because
Honor
I
was
remember
good
playing
at
it
the time.
in my first
No,
game
you still
room
had to
in the
buy
house.
For Honor. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not free.
I'll 4-pass.
but it's a live service game as
Yeah.
well for them. So.
Man, I totally forgot about that.
So they do have a
game.
few successes under their belt that continue on, and they've had a lot of non-successes as well.
Yeah, well, we can't all be Concord.
No,
So
but Sony's had
But-
none.
Yeah.
They're batting zero, right?
yeah. Well, you know, when Horizon comes out, you know, you better step back, Fortnite. Watch your
Yeah.
wallets.
Aloy's
Yeah.
coming. Aloy's friends are coming, right? Aloy's
Yeah.
not in this one.
Yeah,
I mean,
Aloy's friends.
when you think about
Aloy
top,
costs extra.
when you're talking about top live service games today, you're thinking like Fortnite, you're like PUBG, Genshin. You
Yep.
know, you might want to throw Genshin in there, but Genshin is a live
But
service.
Yeah.
it's a top.
You got
service game.
Helldivers 2 and Destiny 2 and
Mhm.
Warframe and Final, you know.
Yeah, see, here's
and
what's-
this is where it kind of blurs, but I think there is no line anymore between an MMO and a live service because even MMOs offer an item shop now
Yeah.
Right.
inside their game. So, you know,
Well,
and then
I
Apex Legends.
I think
and-
you can differ that, Pat, when you're playing your game and it pauses you to say, hey, if you buy this, you know, every 5 minutes, then, you know, that to me gears more towards just horseshit live service. But
That's a mobile game.
That's a mobile
yeah.
game. That's not necessarily a live service because Fortnite
Well,
probably
that's-
doesn't bug you like that.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
that's Diablo and all that now. I mean,
Yeah.
just shoving that crap down your throat. But
But
like
yeah, I mean, if you want to throw
Helldivers,
them, yeah, Helldivers 2 is a
Helldivers
live
doesn't
service.
feel, to me, doesn't feel
They're
like
war
a
bonds.
live service.
They're war
It
bonds how
fe-
they make money, right? You buy the game
Yes.
once and then you
Yeah.
buy a war bond every time it comes out. Now you can earn credits in the game to buy
Exactly.
war bonds, but not as unless you're just an
Not
avid
that
player.
rate. Yeah.
If you're an avid player, you probably can get enough of the
Yeah.
super credits to buy a war bond every time. they
Yeah.
release,
And
but-
you're right there, but it never felt pushed on me though. I never felt like I had to buy anything.
no, it's just like, ooh, I want that. It was the FOMO piece of that
yes.
gets you.
Yeah. And Nick, I think you actually paid cash for a couple things.
In what?
on
No,
that.
not in
When it
Helldivers.
In
first
Helldivers,
launched.
you've never bought a war bond. I did. I
I've never
bought.
bought a
I
war
bought
bond.
probably.
Maybe
3
it
or
was
4
you
war
I'm
bonds.
thinking of.
I
Pat.
The
bought
only,
like 3 or 4
I've bought
bonds.
the only war bonds I've gotten in the game are from collecting enough coins
Yeah.
over time that we played.
super credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was probably you I'm thinking of.
It
You
was.
probably saw a
I
booby
bought
outfit
4
or
war
something.
bonds in that one because I played the hell out of that
It
game.
sounds like something I would do.
Yeah, but
But for
It
this
does.
one,
That
for
might
this
be
one,
why
it
I
wasn't.
accused you.
yeah,
this
I
one,
bought
yeah.
the war bonds when we moved over to PC though, and we started playing more. Just because I felt like I was missing out on my super high level character on the in PlayStation.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, I'll just
But-
buy some war bonds so I can, because I did have some war bonds bought with credits on the PlayStation. I'm like, I don't have those now on PC, and I want those, you know, those, especially because I started throwing some of the loadout pieces in there, and I'm like, I want those
Mhm.
loadout pieces, you know. So,
Yeah.
But I think to get back on topic, Bluepoint is just another victim of the cash grab.
yes, it is.
And it's hard to see when you know a developer, you know, it's not like the developer, you know, Bluepoint was dropping turds. I mean, they weren't. They were asked to create a turd by Sony, and then Sony was like, well, we got to flush it and you got to go with it. So I don't know. I mean, the gaming industry is such garbage. It's hard to keep track of how how obviously they are out of tune with what gamers want. Now, that being said, there is a set of gamers that purely play Fortnite, that purely play Call of Duty, that purely play Battlefield, that are just all they do. And they spend money on those games.
But the thing that's hard for like Sony or any other studio is the thing that's hard about what you just said is that what these companies have to do is they have to strip those players away from what they are already playing, because you're not the percentage of new players that you're going to get coming into your game is going to be low, right? Because there is that group that does play those types of games, and that's all they play, right? And those you might have a few stragglers or people out there that play a free to play or a hero shooter once in a while, but they don't play it religiously like these other people do, right? And so it's like, it's not just making a Fortnite type game, it's stripping them away from the other game.
There's only so much, right? There's only so much time in a day you can play a game, right? As you as a player, you have to say what is enticing to me, right? And there's players that like PoE, Path of Exile style games, and they got PoE 2 coming, it's in early access. And then you got people who like the Fortnite style looter shooters, and then Helldivers style or the Warframe style. There are different styles, and some of them blend together. Like when you think of like Apex Legends and Overwatch 2, those all kind of mesh into the same genre, a little bit different, because those are like player versus player. But then you have Helldivers 2, which is a PvE experience. And I lean more towards the PvE live service if I ever do play a live service. But at the same time, I am live serviced out.
Yes.
I don't have time to play any of the games that we have now. Together, we still haven't even finished Nioh 3. We made it through the first map. We haven't gone anywhere else, hardly. The second map. Yeah.
But one thing you were talking about, Pat, is the different types. One thing that Fortnite, I think, does a good job, and the reason they retain so much is the fact that the Fortnite looks like a child's game. Character models, the world, it all looks cartoonish. But what you do in the game, the movement, the guns, all that, pulls in another
collaborations is what makes Fortnite worth the thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're hitting the teenage market, the youth market, the adult
old guy market with Star Wars and stuff like that. And
they're hitting so many things that I don't think I've seen any other live service game try to hit all those things that Fortnite really does, because For Honor and Concord, well, maybe Concord had a little bit of more of a cartoonish thing, but I don't think they hit that color palette that pulled children in. But Fortnite it's like, running down Nickelodeon.
And also with Fortnite, I mean, it wasn't. I'm sure there were games like it. I mean, PUBG was out before then, but
because PUBG had sued them, claiming they stole their code. Yeah,
but Fortnite really, like, you had those PUBG players, but Fortnite really brought it to the masses, right? I mean, it brought that genre to the masses, and that's what busted out this whole, battle royale type of gameplay, right? And it is very hard. Like Pat said, that's a very small percentage of the pie, and you're trying to weasel your game into that percentage, and it's like you're gonna have a really hard time. Your game has to really stand out, and the percentage of games, like we were talking, me and Shane were talking during our high guard, the percentage of games that come out that are battle royale or hero shooters or whatever that are in those genres, the amount of games that come out and versus the amount of games of those that are successful and remain is, those that are successful and remains is very small compared to the amount that we get. We get a battle royale or a hero shooter, like every week it feels like another one's coming out, but the ones that remain is like this big, right? It's like a very small percentage.
They got to have a niche, right? And their niche is what gets them. Like I really was surprised, and I don't even know, the Marvel Rivals game surprised me. I'm like, oh, it's another Marvel looter shooter game, and it's not really a looter shooter, but it's
a hero shooter.
Hero shooter, yeah. But it's a PvP. We played it. I'm like, this is fun, but I don't know what's special. I didn't think it would last, but it lasts. Sometimes it's whatever. And I think it's just the Marvel name is probably what's got that one to last, and the gameplay, right? I think if you can make a game that has something catchy in it, like what I remember about Marvel Rivals is the little shark.
Yes.
Because there was so many memes about that thing and so many little videos of it and all kinds of stuff like that. That's really what I remember of the game. And I remember playing it going, okay, Jeff is cool. Jeff is fun.
Yep.
But, I mean, it doesn't entice me to play it, but that game is memorable because of that. And it probably drew a lot more players. And like you guys were talking about High Guard, I kept kind of tabs on High Guard because a lot of people were like, don't make fun of it. It's going to be a great game. And, and I use Steam DBs as my tracker. I know it's on other platforms, but when you have 95,000 players your first day and the second day, your max cap is 36,000, your game is shit. And now they have a daily max of 1,000 players.
Oh, I checked it when we were doing our thing tonight. It was 808 players in it right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's basically been sitting around since, it's basically been sitting since the beginning of February, less than 10,000 players. And then it seems like every couple of days it's going down. Like, what is today? Today's the 20th. On the 15th, they had a max of 2,000 players. And today they have a max of 981 players.
Well, they just came out with an update, so that's probably why they had that small bump of players coming in.
Yeah, but I mean, when your game comes out and you get 95, or it says 97,249 players, that was the all-time peak. That was the day of release, and then the very following Tuesday, your game drops to 39,000 max players. You've got a turd on your hands. I mean, you shouldn't have lost 2/3 of your player base in one day.
Right. That
never comes back. So, but I mean, that should tell you right there that all these game studios chasing and this game had a leg up on a lot of them. This game got free preview or free announcement on the Game Awards by Jeff Keighley. That's what
we were talking about too.
Jeff Keighley stroked this game and it still came out flaccid. Jeff Keighley stroked it and it still came out flaccid. It did on arrival.
That's because he wasn't wearing his diamond studded jacket.
He wasn't wearing his studded jacket. We'll blame that. Yep. But I mean, the game developers came out and were talking about how that little advert kind of ruined their game because everybody was making fun of it.
Yep.
I think it got you free publicity. I don't know if it was free. I don't know if you paid Jeff Keighley to talk about it or not, but a lot of people were saying that you paid for it and you didn't. I don't know. Yeah. I don't care. You got publicity on like one of the biggest gamer events of the year, and you still couldn't pull off a win.
Well, it's like I told Nick, that one more thing video, and Nick brought it up originally that that is not the kind of game you bring up as one more thing. And
that's not how you end it. You sour people's taste because they're like expecting some big
It would have been fine for High Guard if it's fine if it's at the Game Awards. If it was in the middle or something like that,
not the final review.
Anything
put Knights of the Republic as the final one. People would have shit their pants and still been like, oh, yeah, that High Guard game. I might check that out when it comes out. But you put that as your one more thing at the very end, which is reserved for everybody to get ready to wet your panties and stuff. Yeah. And you put it in a free-to-play hero shooter. People are like, we get these all the time. Like, come on, Jeff.
This is nothing special, Jeff.
This is a Tuesday. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. This is not how you end your show on just another Tuesday.
It's like ending your show with a mobile game.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and you both played High Guard. I never played it. Because it didn't look like something I want to play.
You say we played. We played it once.
I played two matches.
Okay, did you play two? Okay, he played once without me. You slut.
Yeah, you guys played. You played twice without me, and you played once without me. So neither one of you guys.
It's still around.
Well, he's a dirty slut. I'm regular.
Yeah. We're gonna play with all the cheaters now that are left playing the game.
Right.
And that's who is playing. It's the hackers and stuff.
So, well, like I was telling Shane, like there's 3 phases to the game, and we brought it up during our High Guard video. But there's 3 phases to the game. The first phase is you're defending or you're building defenses at your base, but the only defense you can build is just taking the walls and making them 2x stronger. That's it.
Yep.
Like there's no like traps you can put down.
It's kind of like Siege going in and putting the blockers over the windows and doors.
Except for Siege has more to it, right? Because you have like the things you can put on the windows and stuff like that. And like this one is just reinforcing the walls. That's it.
Siege has better reinforcement tactics than this game does.
And then it goes to phase 2, and phase 2 is basically go out into the world, which is pretty empty. and find ammo and guns and various things like that. So you go and do that. And then phase 3, which is actually the fun part, is where the shield breaker goes, and there's a tug of war over the shield breaker, and then you take the shield breaker to the enemy base, and then they have to defend it and stuff like that. That's the fun part. But the first 2 parts are kind of boring, and it's like you're kind of just sitting there like waiting to get to the 3rd part, because you're like, that's when the fun happens.
2/3 of the phases are shit.
Right.
In the last one,
That's what I was telling Shane. It's like,
not that they
if
were
you took
shit.
out, if you
They're
took them
boring.
out,
They were needless.
yeah, they're needless. Like if you just take those out and just make the game the 3rd part, then awesome.
Do they even play test that? Is what I would ask them and get no feedback.
Play tested internally, but you can't do that internally.
You can't do that because people have a love affair with the game, right? It's like, this is my passion project, my love child. I'm not going to talk bad about.
I did great.
And it's another thing, right? With your coworkers, it's hard to tell them what you made is shit, right? Like if we all worked together and we weren't friends, and Shane or Nick or I made something shitty, it'd be hard to be like, we love you, but this is shitty. If friends, you'd be like, hey, dude, what the hell is this shit? You know? But if you work with coworkers, you have to be a little bit more PC, and you're not, so I think internal playtest is garbage. Don't do internal playtest. You do external playtest with NDAs or something. Do whatever you got to, but don't do it.
What they could have done, which may have definitely, I think would have definitely helped Highguard in the case of them, is they should have released the game or they should have had some betas, some like open, like free to play, like open stress test, beta test, and get feedback from the community to see what they thought of things before you put it out there to play. Right. Luckily for this game, it was free to play. If it costs money, it'd be deader than a doornail. Instead of 800 people, it'd be like 20 people playing.
It probably would have never had 97,000 plays.
No. Oh yeah, it would have been Concord Part 2.
Yeah. No. We shut this game down. It sold 10 copies.
Yeah.
Yep.
And those were all the people who worked here.
The developers.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we've kind of ragged on some of these games for a while now. I think it's time to end this episode. So let us know what you think down in the comments. What do you think? Sony shutting down another studio. What do you think of these large studios like Microsoft, Sony, Ubisoft, and EA, all these buying up smaller indie studios and then pushing to do a live service game? Like, what do you think about that? Do you think that's good strategy? We like to hear differing opinions. We can have conversations. Let us know down in the comments. And you reach the end of this episode. Help us out. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell to get notified when we put out new videos. But, as you can see, Shane is slowly deteriorating. We haven't been able to feed him in a while. So you need to help us out. Subscribe to our channel. And we hope you enjoyed this episode and hope to catch you in the next one.
See ya.